Picture this. A 71-year-old grandfather still mows his own lawn, still walks the dog every morning, stands up in the dark to use the bathroom, and grabs the wall. He laughs it off. Later, he learns it wasn't just age. Tonight, I'll show you the 7 habits behind moments like that. You know this feeling, even if you'd never say it out loud. You stand up and need a second. You don't sleep like you used to. You take one pill, then another, then one more from the drugstore because it seemed harmless. And little by little, your body starts giving you quieter signals. Slower mornings, shakier balance, more bathroom trips, more fatigue, more off days. It's completely reasonable to wonder about this. Most people over 60 do. Picture someone in this situation. A 68-year-old retired school teacher. Still gardens every weekend. Still drives herself to church. Still keeps a sharper calendar than most people half her age. She doesn't feel sick. She feels different. A little more unsteady. A little more tired. A little more likely to say, well, I guess this is just what aging does. Sometimes it is, but not always. I'm Jason Ford. On this channel, I review published research on senior health, the part a short office visit often doesn't have time to unpack. Before we get into it, drop 2 things in the comments: your age and the city or state you're watching from. I read every comment on this channel. It really does shape what I cover next. Take 5 seconds, drop it below. I'll wait. Here's the hard truth. A lot of the trouble people accept after 60 isn't coming from age alone. It's coming from habits that used to be fine and no longer are. Think of your body like an older pickup truck that's still reliable, still useful, still gets the job done. But the timing is a little different now. The brakes need more distance. The engine needs better fuel. And if 2 small problems happen at once, the whole ride feels rougher. That's what aging often does. It changes your margin. A little less muscle, a little lighter sleep, a little more sensitivity to alcohol, a little more reaction to medicines, a little slower blood pressure adjustment when you stand. None of that means you're broken. It does mean the same habits can hit harder than they used to. According to the CDC's Older Adult Falls data page, updated in 2026, more than 1 in 4 adults age 65 and older falls each year, and less than half tell their doctor. The part people remember once they hear it is this: falling once doubles your chances of falling again. That's the kind of sentence you don't forget. And falls are rarely about one dramatic mistake. They're usually a pileup of small things: lower body weakness, balance changes, poor sleep, vision shifts, medications, a rushed trip to the bathroom, a glass of wine on top of a pill you didn't think counted. Small things, stacked together. The National Institute on Aging explains it clearly in its Falls Guidance, reviewed in 2022. Risk rises with muscle loss, balance problems, and something called postural hypotension, which simply means your blood pressure drops when you stand up. That's why a person can feel fine in the chair, then wobbly on the first 2 steps. But wait, that's only part of it. The National Institute on Aging also says many older adults sleep more lightly, wake more often, and are more likely to take medicines or live with conditions that affect sleep. So if you're tired, less steady, more irritated, and reaching for over-the-counter sleep products, those problems can start feeding each other. 1 problem becomes 3. And if this is useful so far, subscribe. I do one of these deep dives every week, and I always try to bring you the research first, then the plain English version. Now here's where the video turns. The real issue isn't that your body changed. The real issue is that many people keep using the same old rules in a body that's playing by new ones. The National Institute on Aging's Exercise Guidance, reviewed in 2021, says older adults need 4 kinds of movement: endurance, strength, balance, and flexibility. Not 1. 4. Most people do maybe 1, sometimes 2. They walk, which is great. But they skip the strength work that helps them get out of a chair, climb stairs, carry groceries, and stay steady. They skip the balance work that lowers fall risk. And then they wonder why walking alone didn't fix everything. Think of strength like the frame of a house. Walking is good. It keeps the lights on, but if the frame weakens, the house still feels shaky. Then there are medicines. The National Institute on Aging warns that combining prescription drugs, over-the-counter medicines, supplements, and herbal products can cause serious problems. It gives plain examples. Aspirin with warfarin can be dangerous. A sedative mixed with an antihistamine can slow reaction time. Alcohol can change how medicines work. That's not rare. That's daily life for a lot of households. And the older you get, the less room for casual mixing. The National Institute on Aging also says alcohol can affect older adults more strongly, even without drinking more than before. It can worsen balance, raise fall risk, and interact with common medicines. That's why a habit that felt ordinary at 45 may feel very different at 70. Not because you're weak, because the chemistry changed. A 2022 review on orthostatic hypotension, that's the medical term for a blood pressure drop when standing, described it as common in older adults and more common with age. Again, plain English. If you go from lying down to walking too fast, your body may not catch up in time. That moment matters. So let's talk about the 7 habits to rethink, starting with the one almost nobody talks about, and ending with the one families wish they'd heard sooner. Habit number 7 to rethink: blaming every new symptom on age. If you say that's just aging too early, you close the case before it was even opened. Dizziness, daytime sleepiness, weaker legs, more stumbles, worse sleep, new confusion after a medication change, those may be related to aging, yes. But they may also point to treatable problems. The National Institute on Aging says balance trouble can come from medications, inner ear problems, blood pressure changes, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, thyroid issues, nerve issues, or vision changes. That's a long list. Which means guessing is a bad plan. Ask your doctor, could this be age, or could this be medication, sleep, blood pressure, or balance? Habit number 6, sitting most of the day and calling a short walk enough. Walking is excellent. Keep it. But the National Institute on Aging says strength and balance work matter too, because strong leg and hip muscles help reduce falls, and strength helps with basic independence. Getting out of a chair, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, staying steady on uneven ground. If you only do movement that feels easy, you may miss the movement that keeps you capable. Ask your doctor whether a safe plan for strength and balance training makes sense for you, especially if you've had a fall, arthritis pain, or dizziness. Habit number 5, standing up too fast, especially at night. This one sounds almost too simple. It isn't. The National Institute on Aging says getting up too quickly can cause your blood pressure to drop, which can make you feel wobbly. You wake up, it's dark, you need the bathroom. You don't want to think, you just move. That first step is where trouble often starts. Sit up first. Pause. Put both feet down. Then stand. Simple, not silly, smart. If you often feel lightheaded when you stand, ask your doctor whether your blood pressure should be checked lying down and standing up, and whether any medicines could be part of it. Habit number 4, drinking alcohol like your body is still 40. The National Institute on Aging says many older adults feel alcohol's effects more strongly as they age. It can worsen balance, increase falls, and mix badly with common medicines. And here's where most people get it wrong. They don't think of just one drink as part of the medication picture. But if you take sleep aids, allergy medicines, pain pills, anxiety medicines, or even certain cough syrups, alcohol may not be acting alone anymore. Ask your doctor or pharmacist whether alcohol is safe with what you're taking. Don't guess. Ask. Habit number 3, and this is the one that surprises people: mixing over-the-counter products, supplements, and prescriptions casually. People often track their prescriptions. They forget the rest. The allergy pill, the nighttime cold medicine, the magnesium gummy, the herbal sleep blend, the aspirin they started on their own. The National Institute on Aging warns that new mixes can create new problems, even when each item looks harmless by itself. This is your shareability moment. A sleep aid plus an antihistamine can slow your reactions. That's not a small thing. That's the difference between feeling steady and not feeling steady. If you have a parent or a spouse or a friend this applies to, this is worth 60 seconds of their time. Send it to them. And here's a smart comment prompt while you're still watching. How many medicines or supplements do you keep on your kitchen counter right now? You don't need to name them, just the number. Habit number 2, brushing off bad sleep like it's normal aging. The National Institute on Aging says sleep often becomes shorter and lighter with age, and people may wake more during the night. But it also says poor sleep deserves attention because illness, pain, medications, mental health, insomnia, sleep apnea, and movement disorders can all play a part. That's a big difference. Change is common. Untreated trouble is not something you should just accept. If you wake up tired, feel sleepy all day, get annoyed easily, or struggle to fall asleep or stay asleep, ask your doctor whether the issue could be a sleep disorder, medication side effect, pain, or something else that deserves a closer look. Talk to your own doctor before changing any sleep medicine or starting any new one. Now this next one is the habit families remember afterward. Habit number 1, not telling your doctor about a fall, a near fall, or a sudden balance change. This is the one almost nobody's talking about enough. The National Institute on Aging says you should always tell your doctor if you've fallen since your last checkup, even if you weren't hurt. A fall can be the clue, a medication issue, a vision issue, a blood pressure issue, a sleep issue, a strength issue. The fall is not always the whole problem. Sometimes it's the alarm. Here's another composite scenario that comes up often. Picture a 73-year-old retired mechanic, still sharp, still independent, still stubborn in the best way. He trips once in the bathroom, says he's fine, tells nobody, and starts moving less because he doesn't trust his legs. 3 months later, he's weaker, more cautious, and more likely to fall again. Not because one fall ruined him, because silence turned a warning into a pattern. That's how this snowballs. So what do you actually do with all this? Step 1. Make one complete medication list. Everything. Prescription drugs, over-the-counter pills, vitamins, supplements, herbal products, sleep aids, pain relievers, all of it. The National Institute on Aging advises older adults to review that list at every health visit and to ask whether they still need every item on it. If you use more than one pharmacy, share the full list at each one. Step 2. Build movement like a safety system, not a punishment. Use the National Institute on Aging's 4-part model: endurance, strength, balance, flexibility. Even 2 short strength sessions a week can be more valuable than many people realize because the target is not just fitness. It's steadiness. It's independence. It's getting off the toilet without strain. It's catching yourself on a curb. Step 3. Slow the transitions in your day. Bed to standing, chair to walking, car to sidewalk, especially at night. If dizziness shows up in those moments, that is useful information. Bring it to your doctor. Ask your own doctor whether it could be related to blood pressure, hydration, alcohol, or medication effects. Step 4. Recheck your sleep with a colder eye. Don't ask, "Am I sleeping like I did at 30?" Ask, "Am I waking restored, or am I dragging myself through the day?" That's the better question. If the answer is no, ask your doctor whether sleep apnea, insomnia, pain, restless legs, or medication timing could be involved. Step 5. Treat alcohol like part of the equation, not a moral issue, a chemistry issue. If you drink, ask whether it fits safely with your medicines, your balance, your sleep, and your blood pressure. Step 6. Tell someone about falls and near falls. Your doctor, your spouse, your adult child. Someone. Silence protects nothing. Step 7. Stop grading your health only by whether something hurts. A lot of important problems after 60 are quiet first. Less strength, less balance, more fatigue, more sway, more hesitation on stairs. Quieter signs. Still real. Now I want to answer the question I know is in your head. Are you saying every older adult is one step away from disaster? Yeah. No. Here's the honest answer. Most people over 60 are doing far better than the internet gives them credit for. But current research and current federal guidance both say the margin gets smaller with age. That's not panic. That's precision. Let me name the sources one more time, because you deserve to know where this comes from. The CDC Older Adult Falls page, updated in 2026, says more than 1 in 4 older adults falls each year, and falling once doubles future fall risk. The National Institute on Aging Falls and Balance Guidance, reviewed in 2022, explains how medications, sleep, blood pressure changes, dizziness, muscle loss, and alcohol can all raise fall risk. The National Institute on Aging Exercise Guidance, reviewed in 2021, says older adults benefit from 4 kinds of movement: endurance, strength, balance, and flexibility. The National Institute on Aging Medication Safety Guidance says mixing prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, supplements, and alcohol can create serious problems, and that older adults should review all of it with their healthcare team. And the National Institute on Aging Sleep Guidance says poor sleep deserves attention because sleep problems, medication effects, pain, and sleep disorders become more common with age. Those are real sources, real institutions, checkable, not opinions pulled out of thin air. There are also times you should call your doctor today, not next month. Today. If you keep getting dizzy when you stand, if you've had a new fall or several near falls, if you hit your head in a fall, especially if you're on a blood thinner, if you notice black or bloody stools after mixing pain relievers and alcohol, if you're so sleepy or so short of breath at night that daily life is changing. These are outside the scope of a video like this. They need direct evaluation. Talk to your own doctor. Let me run through the core points quickly. Number 1, don't call every new symptom just aging. Number 2, don't rely on walking alone. Strength and balance matter too. Number 3, don't rush from lying down to standing up. Number 4, don't treat alcohol like it affects you the way it used to. Number 5, don't casually mix prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, and supplements. Number 6, don't ignore poor sleep and daytime fatigue. Number 7, don't keep falls and near falls to yourself. Here's the whole message in one sentence. After 60, the small habits you stop dismissing may protect your independence more than the big heroic changes ever will. And there's one thing I still haven't told you. It's the reason a lot of healthy senior routines fail, even when people mean well. Timing. Timing of meals, timing of medicines, timing of movement, timing of sleep. That's what I'm walking through in next week's video. If this helped you see something new, subscribe. Next week, I'm breaking down the everyday timing mistakes that can quietly drain energy after 60. And in the comments, I'd love to hear, which of these 7 habits surprised you most? Take good care of yourselves. I'll see you next week. This video is for general educational and informational purposes only. It is not medical advice and does not create a doctor-patient relationship. Please always consult your own qualified healthcare provider for diagnosis and treatment. Illustrative scenarios in this video are composites. All identifying details have been changed to protect privacy. Any resemblance to a specific individual is unintentional. Portions of this video use AI-assisted voiceover and visuals.